You might have hundreds of quarters in your drawer, but among them could be a rare Washington quarter that could change your life. Welcome to our channel. Today, let's explore what makes these coins so incredibly valuable. Make sure to watch the complete video because you don't want to miss the surprising details at the end. In the heart of American coinage history, a quiet revolution began in 2022, one that not only minted metal but also carved out space for stories long overdue to be told. Among the shiny clink of quarters that year emerged something extraordinary, a coin unlike any before it. For the first time in U.S. history, the quarter bore the proud image of a black woman, a poet, a truth-teller, a luminary of resilience and hope. Her name was Maya Angelou. See her depicted not in a book, or on a podium, but in the palm of one's hand was more than symbolic. It was historic. As people across the country opened their wallets, sorted through change at the coffee shop, or handed quarters to curious grandchildren, many stopped for a moment. They turned the coin over, and they saw her. Arms raised, like wings, a sun rising behind her. And they remembered, but this wasn't just any coin. This was the first issue in a brand new chapter for American money, a chapter that honored the women who helped shape the nation. The American Women Quarters program sought to spotlight figures whose voices had often been sidelined in textbooks and currency alike. And who better to begin with than Maya Angelou? Born in 1928, Maya Angelou's life was as layered and powerful as the verses she wrote. Her autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, didn't just tell her story, it told a collective one. The story of hardship and survival. The story of finding voice amidst silence. Her poetry soared across stages. Her speeches stirred hearts. She danced, she sang, she fought, she inspired, she did not ask for recognition. She earned it. When the U.S. Mint revealed her quarter, the design spoke volumes without a single word. Maya stands tall, arms open, almost as if in mid-recital, embodying freedom, joy, and defiance. Behind her, a bird takes flight, referencing her most famous metaphor. The rays of the sun seem to catch the wind beneath her wings. It is not a static image. It is movement. It is energy. It is Maya. The coin's obverse, the front, still bears the trusted image of George Washington. But for this series, even Washington's portrait was redesigned. A more classical depiction, originally created by a woman sculptor in the early 20th century, was chosen, another nod to female contributions quietly tucked into every detail of the program. Now, to the untrained eye, this quarter might look like any other. It's easy to imagine one getting dropped into a vending machine or tossed into a tip jar. And yes, millions were released into circulation. But here's where the story takes a turn. Because not all Maya Angelou quarters are created equal, some of these coins, especially those in pristine condition, untouched, uncirculated, or minted under special programs, have become prized possessions among collectors. While they may look identical to the average passerby, numismatists know better. A slight variation here, a perfect surface there, and suddenly what was once just 25 cents can become a treasure of incredible value. It's not uncommon now to hear whispers in coin collecting circles. This quarter, the one that celebrated poetry, womanhood, and power, has risen in status faster than many expected. Some of the most sought-after versions, those in flawless condition or with unique mint characteristics, have fetched amounts that would surprise even the most seasoned collectors. We're talking hundreds, even thousands of dollars, and that's part of the magic. Imagine finding something so valuable not behind glass, but in your very change jar. A reminder that sometimes, history isn't just taught. Sometimes, it's carried in your pocket. What makes the Maya Angelou quarter so special isn't just the rarity of certain versions or the quality of its minting. It's the story behind it. It's what it represents. Every time someone sees that image of Maya, arms open beneath a sunburst sky, it calls us to reflect. On progress. On courage. On the enduring power of art and voice. Collectors have taken notice, yes. But this coin has sparked conversations far beyond coin shows and auctions. Schools have used it to introduce students to Maya's poetry. Families have passed them down as keepsakes. And for many, owning one isn't just about numismatic value, it's about legacy. Think about it. How often do we stop to consider what images appear on our money? For generations, the faces on coins were predominantly male, predominantly white, and mostly figures of war or politics. The Maya Angelou Quarter breaks that mold with grace. With poetry. With truth. Even now, years after its release, demand for high-grade and rare variations of this coin continues to grow. Dealers keep watch lists. Auctions stir with bidding wars. Social media buzzes every time a particularly beautiful piece surfaces. And in private collections, these coins are quietly becoming centerpieces that if you're lucky enough to have one, especially one in exceptional condition, you may be holding something far more valuable than you know. And if you don't yet have one, you may want to start looking, because while it's difficult to pin down an exact value, especially as the market continues to evolve, there's no denying this: the Maya Angelou Quarter has become one of the most celebrated and worthy quarters of its generation. Its value lies not only in potential monetary worth but in what it means to people. It is, quite simply, priceless. Next rare quarter, the year was 1989. America was experiencing the final years of a transformative decade. From the fall of the Berlin Wall to the shifting tides in global politics, the world was changing fast. And in the everyday pockets of Americans, the familiar clink of change carried one small, seemingly ordinary item: a Washington quarter. Yet this very coin, minted in that pivotal year, would one day become an unexpected legend among collectors. The 1989 quarter didn't announce itself with fanfare. It wasn't specially minted or commemorative in nature. It looked just like the countless others that came before and after it. Bearing the face of George Washington on the front and the proud heraldic eagle on the reverse, it moved through cash registers, soda machines, and children's piggy banks like any other. But among these coins, a few would go on to live extraordinary second lives, not for what they were, but for how they were made, how they were preserved, and the secrets they carried in their flawless surfaces. As with all Washington quarters minted between 1932 and 1998, the obverse of the 1989 coin was based on a design by John Flanagan. Washington's profile faces left, proud and stoic, the word "Liberty" above him, the date below. On the reverse, the eagle, wings spread, perches upon a bundle of arrows surrounded by olive branches, a symbol of both military might and peace. Minted in 3 locations, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, the 1989 quarters were produced by the hundreds of millions. To be exact, more than 1.4 billion were struck, the bulk of them from the Denver and Philadelphia mints. San Francisco, on the other hand, produced proof coins meant for collectors, not circulation. So what makes this unassuming coin so special? Why are collectors suddenly whispering about the 1989 quarter like it's a treasure hiding in plain sight? The story begins in the smallest of details. Minting coins is a precise science, and even a minor variation, be it a misaligned die, a double strike, or an unusual surface luster, can mean the difference between spare change and a highly prized artifact. Most 1989 quarters, of course, show the wear and tear of life. They've been dropped on sidewalks, shoved into vending machines, or rubbed smooth from years of use. But a very small number, just a few, escaped that fate. These rare survivors were struck under near-perfect conditions, untouched by human hands, and somehow preserved for decades in mint condition. For a coin to be considered truly valuable, it must be graded by professionals on a scale from 1 to 70. A typical circulated 1989 quarter might score in the 20s or 30s. But a coin that scores a 67 or above, that's the territory of greatness. And it's here that the legend of the 1989 quarter begins to grow. Imagine someone in 1989 tucking away a roll of fresh quarters, not because they suspected they'd be worth something someday, but maybe as a souvenir, or a gift for a newborn, or just by chance. That quarter sits untouched for decades, sealed away from the elements, never rattling in a jar or scraping against car keys. When it finally sees the light again, it's in such pristine shape that experts can barely find a flaw. This is the kind of scenario that gives birth to a truly valuable coin. Collectors obsess over such finds. These are the coins that turn hobbyists into historians, researchers into hunters. They dig through coin rolls, visit estate sales, scour online auctions, hoping for that one, perfect piece that others have missed. And the 1989 quarter, once passed over as common, has become a star in this quiet frenzy. What fuels the mystery even more is that this coin doesn't scream for attention. There's no dramatic error or strikingly unusual design. There's only excellence in the smallest of details, a flawless strike, a shimmer of untouched luster, the precision of its features under magnification. That's where the magic lies. And magic, as collectors know, can be worth more than gold. The market for such coins doesn't follow simple rules. Prices surge based on rarity, demand, and the growing awareness among collectors. Some coins skyrocket in value simply because their population, at the highest grade, is so small. In the case of the 1989 quarter, coins that reach this elite level are astonishingly rare. It's not just that they exist, it's that so few have survived in this condition at all, and here's where this story takes its most remarkable turn. Among the few existing examples in top condition, at least one specimen has stunned collectors by achieving a record-breaking sale. Its sheer perfection, coupled with the historical significance of its era and the growing interest in late 20th century U.S. coinage, propelled it into the numismatic spotlight. This wasn't just a minor uptick in value. This was a statement, an exclamation mark that turned heads in auction houses and online forums alike. For years, the 1989 quarter had quietly passed through countless hands. But now, that same coin, when preserved with care and graded at the highest possible level, has fetched a jaw-dropping sum. Yes, this humble little coin, this piece of everyday America, was valued at an astounding $73,000.73,000, not bad for something once traded for a stick of gum or dropped into a parking meter. And so, we return to the present. The next time you receive a quarter in change, pause for a moment. Tilt it in the light. Examine the mint mark, the sharpness of the letters, the detail in the eagle's feathers. Because who knows? You might be holding a coin worth more than your monthly rent. You might be holding history. Now we are moving to the top $1/4 coin, a coin that has quietly captured the imagination of collectors and sparked conversations in the numismatic world for years. This coin does not look much different from any other quarter you might find in your pocket, but its story, its condition, and its rarity have made it one of the most talked about coins among enthusiasts today. This is the 1984 Washington quarter minted in Philadelphia, commonly known as the 1984 P quarter. On the surface, it seems ordinary. It features the same design that Americans have seen for decades, George Washington facing left on the front, and the proud bald eagle on the back, wings spread, perched on arrows with olive branches just beneath. There is nothing flashy or commemorative about this coin. It was not made to honor an event or a person. It was simply one of the hundreds of millions of coins created that year to keep America's commerce flowing. Yet, in that large group of ordinary coins, a few extraordinary ones slipped through and survived in a way no one could have predicted. Hidden among the hundreds of millions of these coins struck that year, a small number stand out, not because of a change in design, and not because of an obvious error, but because of a nearly perfect state of preservation and a few mysterious details that have made some versions of this coin extremely desirable. In most cases, coins are used immediately. They move from banks to stores, from stores to hands, and from hands into circulation. Scratches, dents, fading marks, all of that is normal and expected. But a few coins escape this fate. They are never spent, never dropped into a vending machine, never scraped across a countertop. They are instead tucked away, sometimes by accident, sometimes by a curious collector who senses something different about them. These preserved coins remain untouched by time, kept safe in folders, in drawers, or in collections. Sometimes, they are forgotten until decades later, someone finds them in pristine condition and realizes they may have something extraordinary. The 1984 P quarter is one of those coins that gained legendary status over time. Collectors started to notice that some versions of this quarter carried extremely fine detail, sharper than most other coins from that year. Some even appeared to have slight striking irregularities, such as what is often referred to as the spitting eagle variety, where a small mark gives the appearance that the eagle on the back is spitting a fine line forward. To a casual observer, that may sound amusing. But to a serious collector, these small differences make all the difference. They signal that the coin might have come from a worn die or perhaps was the result of a brief flaw during production. And even if that flaw is small, it is enough to turn an everyday coin into something highly collectible, but there is more to this story than a minor minting variety. What truly sets the top example of the 1984 P quarter apart is its remarkable condition. For a coin to reach top market value, it must achieve a near-perfect grade, which means it has full detail, no visible scratches, and an eye-catching shine, as if it were just made yesterday. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, and only the finest examples ever reach the upper 60s. This is incredibly rare, especially for coins that were never intended to be collector pieces but meant for everyday use, and yet, here we are talking about a simple quarter, a 25-cent coin from the year 1984 that managed to reach such a high level of quality that it stunned experts, collectors, and auction houses alike. The excitement around this coin grew as word spread among collectors. Some of them began pulling out their old coin rolls hoping to find one. Others searched online marketplaces and auction sites looking for anything close to that pristine example. But finding another one in the same condition has proven to be nearly impossible. Many people wonder how such a coin could survive so long without a single scratch or blemish. It could have been saved as part of a mint roll, given as a gift, or simply lost in storage for decades, untouched and protected from the usual damage that coins suffer. This mystery only adds to its charm. The truth is, coins like this do not appear often. And when they do, they spark bidding wars among serious collectors who understand just how rare they truly are. It is not just about owning a coin. It is about owning a piece of history, about holding a time capsule in your hand that somehow escaped the usual wear and tear of everyday life. Collectors do not just see metal and numbers. They see stories. They see moments preserved in silver and copper. They see the history of a nation frozen in time. And in the case of the 1984 P quarter, they see a symbol of patience, luck, and preservation, and so, the story of the 1984 P quarter has become one of the most intriguing in recent coin collecting history. It reminds us that value can come from the most unexpected places and that sometimes the most ordinary-looking things can turn out to be extraordinary. This one coin, once minted for everyday use, once destined for pockets and soda machines, ended up becoming one of the most valuable and respected pieces among modern quarters. And the price it has reached in its highest known condition is truly stunning. This particular example of the 1984 P quarter has been valued at $80,000. So the next time you hold a quarter, take a second look. Tilt it in the light. Feel the weight between your fingers. Look closely at the details. You never know what kind of treasure you might be holding in your hand. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more fascinating stories about rare coins and hidden treasures, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends who love collecting or history. We would also love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below and tell us what coin you want us to explore next. Your support means a lot and helps us bring you even more amazing content. Thanks for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.